Hey everyone, and welcome to Earrings by Angela. Today we are talking about the ABCs of jewelry making, and I actually wanted to talk about doodling because doodling is a great way of getting your ideas out of your head and onto the paper, and you can do so without creating and wasting materials. I mean, it's cool if you want to just, you know, practice a little bit and stuff. But if you really are serious about, like, okay, I want to try this design, this is a great way to do that and, you know, be able to also go back. It's like a, sketching journal almost, but being able to go back and look at your progress from the first ideas that you had when you were beginning and how they progress. So I usually, well, I've just started again to use my jewelry artist creative planner. And yes, I created it. So, yay! I created something for you with you in mind. And so the link to this will be in the description, but let's go on with the lesson. So, as I stated, we're talking about doodling. So, I just wanted to share one of the sketches as I had to start this new planner. So, you get to see the very first sketch in the planner. And so I opened the page to um, my doodling space, which literally says doodle space. Um, and I want to give you a closer look at how the thinking process goes when I sketch. So, one thing that I do is I look at the beads, stones, whatever I'm using, and try to find one thing to focus on. So, this time I chose, it's actually a cultured pearl. So I wrote what it is here, right? And then I said, well, this is the color of the pearl, okay? So I put that there. So when I'm drawing, after I've drawn the actual bead, stone, whatever the focal is, after I've drawn it, then I add the color or try to match the color to as close as possible as to whatever, the color of the bead, stone, whatever it is. I'm just going to say bead, you guys, so I don't have to keep really defining it. But what I do is, so I wrote cultured pearl is tan colored. Now, I like to have my pieces have more meaning, right? Because if you haven't noticed, I'm into the chakras and crystals and a lot of metaphysical things as well. So I like to always know, what is the meaning behind this. So what I found out is that cultured pearls, they balance the body rhythms. So I wrote that down. They symbolize innocence and faith and the advancement in wisdom. So one fun fact that I found out was that Cleopatra used to take these cultured pearls or just regular pearls, and she would grind them up, put them into her wine, and drink it as a way to kind of flaunt that she was wealthy. Like, yeah, I got it going on. I think that's an interesting story. I didn't write that in here though, but I remembered it because it interested me so good. So then I say, okay, well, what do I want to use this cultured pearl for? Because it could be a bunch of things, but for this particular piece, I want to make it into a necklace. But I already know how I'm going to wrap the stone. I want a messy wrap. So that's what I wrote here, messy wrap. And then you see these circles here. So this represents a jump ring, okay? This big one, because that's how it's going to connect. Now here I've decided, I know I want this to be in a circular form. I want it to be connected. So will this pendant just hang from a regular ball chain? You know, the chain that they use when they have the dog tags hanging from it, that chain. Or will I use seed beads, glass beads, or gemstones? Okay, so if I use the ball chain, I don't need any of these. Okay, I'm just gonna make it plain, a minimalist piece, but it has meaning, right? But then if I decided to use the seed beads or the glass beads or the gemstones, then I made a color scheme at the bottom. These are the possible colors. This is the color scheme I want to go with for the necklace. So that means I would need to find seed beads, this color, or glass beads, or gemstones. So now that I have my colors picked, I can kind of imagine how this is going to come along, right? The next thing, how am I going to close it? Now, this is something that I didn't write, and I'm just gonna, it just came to me now. See, as you review your stuff, you may be able to add on. For the necklace, like I can make this a lariat, right? A lariat necklace, and then I wouldn't need a clasp, right? But I don't want that. So either I'm gonna make a clasp, which will be maybe an S clasp, because I'm thinking about my customer and or my audience who might actually be interested in wearing this. So I'm thinking about, oh, I know my audience based, the ages and whatnot. So I know I do have some older clients who maybe a spring clasp is too small for their grip, right? Maybe they can't find it because as we age, our fine motor skills are not what they used to be. So I have to keep that in mind. A toggle, that's easy for everyone, right? A lobster clasp is easy for everyone, right? And well, the hammer S clasp, it gives it more. My energy is going more into the work, and I'm making this from scratch. So it has a lot more meaning to it, but it's also easily used. So this is how I use um, the technique of doodling and planning out some of my pieces. Now, I will admit that a lot of my pieces, I kind of just go with the flow, but um, most times when I'm really, like, okay, I don't want to do anything but just vibe with my thoughts today, I'll doodle and see what comes up in my mind's eye. So I hope that helped. And you guys, if this is your first time with me, make sure that you like and subscribe and comment. Say, hey, I'm a newbie. Join the EBA family. And if you know other creatives, invite them because I'll be teaching more lessons that I would love for you not to miss and become part of the conversation. If there is anything that in particular that you would like to learn, then just let me know in the comments and I will make sure that I get that done for you. Okay? So, we're going to continue with the ABCs of jewelry making, and clearly this was D for doodle, right? I will see you all in the next video. Happy doodling!